The shattered silence. The air inside the ancient ship was thick with dust, and a silence so complete it felt like a tomb. The deep hum of the crew's small exploratory vessel outside was faint, barely reaching the desolate hall where the throne sat, a massive structure of dark metal and strange glowing symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. No one aboard the ship had expected to find this place. Not here, drifting on the edge of a forgotten star system. The woman slumped in the throne stirred suddenly, like a ship awakening from a centuries-long storm. Her eyes snapped open, deep, ancient, and glowing faintly with an eerie light. Her breath came shallow and quick, as if waking from an endless dream. Her hands were bound to the armrests, the glowing chains humming quietly, tying her to the throne. But something was changing. Outside, the crew's footsteps echoed in the empty corridors as they searched for signs of life. Commander Elias Drake led the small team, his scanner picking up faint energy readings from deep within the ship. "This is it," he whispered to his team. "That's where the signal is strongest." Elias reached the heavy doorway leading to the throne room and pushed it open. A cold gust swept past, carrying whispers of lost time and forgotten horrors. Inside, the chamber was enormous, filled with alien technology beyond human comprehension. The throne dominated the room, surrounded by floating orbs of light that hovered, like silent sentinels. And there she was, motionless, pale, and chained to her seat. Elias stepped closer, a mix of awe and caution gripping him. "Is she alive?" one of the crew asked. Before anyone could answer, the woman's eyes flickered with sudden fire. The chains binding her shuddered and glowed brighter. Elias hesitated, but stepped forward. He extended a gloved hand slowly toward hers. As his fingers brushed the cold skin of her hand, a surge of energy pulsed through the room like a thunderclap. The glowing chains shattered with a burst of light, scattering sparks into the air. The woman gasped, pulling her hand free. She stared at Elias, eyes filled with a mix of fear and recognition. "Who are you?" Elias asked, voice steady despite the shock. She struggled to speak, voice rasping but clear. "I am the last guardian." The room trembled as the ship's systems flickered on, lights sparking to life, screens glowing with unreadable data, and a deep, resonant hum filling the air. The team exchanged nervous glances. Whatever they had awoken was far more than just an ancient prisoner. Suddenly, a low signal beeped through their comms, a rhythmic, repeating pulse that sent a chill down Elias's spine. "We're not alone," he muttered. The woman rose slowly. From the throne, chains broken but the weight of centuries evident in her movements. "My time is over," she whispered, "but the curse remains." Elias watched her carefully, sensing a storm had just been unleashed, and their journey had only just begun. "Would you like me to continue writing the rest of Part 1 with this tone and pace filling it out?" Echoes from the past. The woman's eyes glowed faintly as she stood in the dim light of the alien ship's throne room, the broken chains hanging loose at her sides. Her gaze swept over the crew, men and women from Earth, explorers who had stumbled into a nightmare older than their histories. For a moment, the silence stretched thick and heavy, as if the air itself waited for an answer. Commander Elias Drake stepped forward, his voice steady but cautious. "You said you're the last guardian. What does that mean? And what curse are you talking about?" She hesitated, eyes flickering with fragments of memories that belonged to another time. An age of stars and wars, of civilizations rising and falling. Her voice was a whisper. "This throne, it holds a power no one was meant to wield. For centuries I was bound to it, trapped by a spell meant to protect and to punish. The curse is more than chains, it's a shadow that reaches far beyond this ship." Elias nodded slowly, his mind racing. "And you? What happened to the civilization that made this?" Her eyes darkened. "They fell." destroyed by their own fear and ambition. The throne was their last hope to control the chaos they unleashed. But the price was my imprisonment. The crew gathered closer, their curiosity battling with unease. A tech specialist, Maya Chen, tapped at her handheld scanner. "I'm picking up a faint signal from this ship. It's old but active, and it's transmitting a pattern. Someone or something is still trying to communicate." "From where?" Elias asked, eyes narrowing. Maya traced the source to a nearby star system hidden in the shadow of a small, uncharted planet. "That's where we need to go." The woman, whose name still escaped them, looked toward the viewport, her gaze distant. "That planet holds answers and dangers." The crew prepared their shuttle, tension thick as they boarded and launched into the black void. Elias sat beside the pilot, heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. Outside, the stars blurred into streaks as they sped toward the unknown. Inside the shuttle, the woman remained silent, her eyes closed, as if drawing strength from deep within. Maya broke the silence. "If you're really the last guardian, what happens if the curse is broken? What does it mean for us?" She opened her eyes slowly, meeting Maya's. "It means the past is waking, and the future is uncertain." The shuttle descended through the planet's atmosphere, revealing a landscape both alien and hauntingly familiar. Ruins scattered across barren plains, twisted metal structures half buried in sand, and strange symbols etched into the rocks. Elias led the crew through the ruins, scanning for life or technology. The air was thick with dust and an eerie quiet. As they explored, the woman's memories began to surface in fragments, visions of war, betrayal, and sacrifice. She paused at a broken monument, fingers tracing the worn carvings. This was a place of peace once, before the throne. Suddenly, the ground trembled, the crew froze as a deep rumble echoed from beneath the ruins. From the shadows emerged figures, alien beings, their forms strange but unmistakably alive. The woman stepped forward, her voice firm. "They have been waiting for me." Elias raised his hand, signaling the crew to hold. "Who are they?" "They are the last remnants of my people," she said. "Guardians like me, but cursed in different ways." The aliens approached cautiously, eyes filled with a mixture of suspicion and hope. They spoke in a language the ship's translator struggled to decode, but the message was clear, an ancient warning about a threat returning to consume their worlds. Maya worked quickly to analyze the alien technology, uncovering data that hinted at a weapon buried deep beneath the planet's surface, one powerful enough to destroy stars. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the ruins, Elias and the crew realized they had stumbled into a web far more dangerous than they imagined. Back on the ship, strange anomalies began to appear. Systems flickering, unexplained power surges, and whispers echoing through the corridors. The woman warned of the curse's reach, and Elias felt the weight of every choice pressing down on him. "We need to find that weapon," Elias said firmly, "before it finds us." The woman nodded, her expression grim. "And we must decide who to trust. Not everyone here is what they seem." As night fell, the crew gathered around a flickering holomap, piecing together the fragments of a puzzle that stretched across time and space. The woman's story unfolded, a tale of sacrifice, betrayal, and hope. And then, as if summoned by their fears, the ship's alarms blared. "Intruders!" the comm system crackled. "They're boarding!" Elias grabbed his weapon, heart pounding. The shadows outside shifted, and the fight for survival had begun. Cliffhanger. Who were the intruders? Were they friend or foe? And what secrets lay buried beneath the planet's surface, waiting to be unleashed? The alien enigma. The alarm shrieked through the corridors, a piercing wail that shattered the fragile calm the crew had fought to maintain. Commander Elias Drake's heart hammered in his chest as he gripped his weapon, eyes darting toward the shadows that shifted beyond the viewport. Intruders, unknown origin, the ship's AI announced in a cold monotone. The crew hurried into defensive positions. Maya Chen's fingers flew over her scanner, trying to identify the threat. They're boarding through the maintenance shafts. Small, fast, definitely not human. Elias nodded grimly. Stay alert. We don't know if they're friend or foe. The woman, the last guardian, stood at the center of the room, her gaze distant but focused. They seek the throne's power. If they reach it, the curse will consume us all. A sudden movement flickered near the bulkhead. Shadows leapt forward, small alien figures with sharp eyes and sleek armor, their forms agile and threatening. They moved like phantoms, striking with precision. The crew fought back, but the intruders were unlike anything they'd faced. They vanished into the ship's labyrinthine corridors as quickly as they appeared, leaving behind eerie silence and a growing sense of dread. As the battle subsided, Elias gathered his team. We need to find out who these aliens are and what they want with the throne. The woman's eyes darkened. They are the Vanari, descendants of those who once opposed my people. They hunger for the throne's secrets to rewrite the past and claim the future. Maya frowned. But why attack now? Why, after all this time? Because the curse is broken, the woman answered softly, and the balance has shifted. The cruise shuttle landed on the planet's surface once again, the ruins stretching out like scars beneath a dying sun. This time, they went deeper, into tunnels that led beneath the ancient city. The air grew colder, the silence heavier. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, pulsing with an energy that seemed almost alive. The woman led the way, her footsteps sure despite the weight of centuries. This is where the throne's power originates, the heart of the ancient war. Suddenly, a flicker of light revealed a massive chamber, filled with technology beyond human understanding. At its center lay an artifact, an orb of shifting energy humming with raw power. Elias approached cautiously. What is this? The source of the curse, she said, and the key to its end. Maya scanned the orb. Its energy signature is unlike anything we've ever seen. If we can harness it, we might stop the Vanari. But as they studied the orb, the ground trembled again. The walls shook as ancient mechanisms roared to life. From the shadows emerged a figure, tall, imposing, cloaked in armor that gleamed with an otherworldly light. I am Kael'thar, the figure announced in a voice that echoed through the chamber. Guardian of the Vanari, you trespass on sacred ground. Elias raised his weapon, heart pounding. We don't want war. We want to stop the destruction. Kael'thar's eyes glowed fiercely. Then you must prove your worth. Only the worthy may wield the throne's power. A test began, a trial of minds and wills. The woman stepped forward, her memories flooding back in vivid detail. She relived the ancient battles, the betrayals that shattered her people, and the sacrifice that bound her to the throne. As the trial unfolded, the crew saw visions of stars consumed by darkness, of hope rising against impossible odds. But the Vanari Guardian was relentless, pushing them to their limits. Elias found himself questioning everything, his trust in the woman, in his crew, and in humanity itself. At the climax of the trial, the orb pulsed violently, the chamber flooded with light as the ancient curse tried to reclaim its power. But then the woman reached out, this time not bound, but free. Her touch steadied the orb, calming its storm. We are not slaves to the past, she declared. We choose our own destiny. Kael'thar's expression softened, respect flickering in his eyes. Perhaps there is hope yet. The trial ended, but the threat remained. Elias looked to the woman. What now? "We prepare," she said. "The Venari will not rest. The curse is awakening others, far beyond this planet." Maya added, "And we have only just begun to understand what's at stake." As they exited the chamber, a new signal crackled through the ship's comms, a warning from deep space. "Unknown fleet approaching," the AI reported. "Hostile intent detected." Elias's jaw tightened. "This is bigger than we thought." The woman's gaze hardened. "The past is no longer buried. It is coming for us all." Cliffhanger. An unknown alien fleet approaches, and the crew must face threats from both inside and beyond. Who are these new enemies, and what do they want with the throne's power? Shadows of the fleet. The warning blared through the ships. Control room, the crimson alert light flashing relentlessly. Outside the viewport, the black expanse of space was suddenly crowded with shapes, sleek, menacing warships that glided like shadows against the stars. Commander Elias Drake gripped the console tightly, eyes fixed on the fleet closing in. Unknown vessels, no communication received, weapons primed and ready. Beside him, Maya Chen's fingers flew across the panel, trying to decipher any patterns in the alien fleet's movements. They're coordinating perfectly, almost like they know our every move before we make it. The woman, the last guardian, stood silent, her expression grim. They are drawn by the throne's awakening. They hunger for the power that was kept hidden for centuries. Elias turned. To her, urgency burning in his gaze. "Who are they? Why now?" Her voice was steady but heavy with sorrow. "They are the Korvax, ancient hunters who once hunted my people. They've been watching, waiting for a chance to claim what we nearly lost." The ship's crew scrambled to prepare defenses, working quickly against time. Outside, the alien fleet advanced, scanning beams cutting through the void. Elias issued orders with calm authority, but beneath the surface, fear churned. "Divert all power to shields. We can't afford a direct hit." Maya looked over the tactical readouts. "Their technology is advanced. Energy weapons unlike anything we've faced before." Suddenly, the ship jolted as a powerful blast struck the hull. Alarms screamed as systems faltered. "Shields holding," Maya reported, voice tense, but just barely. The last guardian moved swiftly through the corridors, her presence commanding. "There is a way to fight them. Not with brute force, but with the throne's true power," Elias frowned. "You mean the orb?" She nodded. "Yes, but it requires a bond between the throne, the guardian, and a human." His eyes narrowed. "Why a human?" "Because only humanity can wield hope as a weapon," she said softly. "Our power is incomplete without your strength." Meanwhile, aboard the enemy ships, a council of shadowed figures watched the battle unfold. Their leader, a towering figure cloaked in dark armor, clenched his fist. "The throne must be ours," he declared. "Prepare the fleet for full assault." Back on Elias's ship, the crew braced as another wave of attack struck. Systems flickered, and the ship groaned under the pressure. In the command center, Elias faced a choice: retreat or risk everything to protect the throne. He looked to the Guardian. "How do we unlock this bond?" She reached out, placing her hand on his. A surge of warmth spread through him, a connection that felt both ancient and immediate. "Trust me," she whispered. "Together, we can awaken the throne's power." The chamber with the orb pulsed with light as Elias and the Guardian entered. The energy surged around them, wrapping like tendrils of fire. Elias felt his mind flood with visions, memories not his own, of battles fought across galaxies, sacrifices made to protect a fragile peace. The orb responded to their bond, glowing, brighter until it filled the chamber with blinding light. Outside, the alien fleet faltered, their weapons losing power as if drained by an unseen force. The tide of battle shifted. The crew rallied, pushing back against the Korvax ships with newfound strength, but the victory was temporary. On the bridge, Maya's voice trembled. "More ships incoming! Reinforcements!" Elias's gaze hardened. "Then we prepare for the war ahead." Later, as the crew regrouped, the Guardian revealed a hidden truth. The throne's power is not just defense. It can alter fate itself, but at a cost. Elias asked. "What kind of cost?" She hesitated. "Those who wield it risk losing themselves, becoming part of the throne's endless cycle of guardianship." A silence fell over the room as the weight of their mission settled in. Suddenly, a transmission cut through the tension, a fragmented message in an ancient tongue, barely audible. The woman's eyes widened. "It's a warning from the past. Something even older than the throne." Maya worked quickly to decode. "It mentions a betrayal, someone close to the Guardians who turned to darkness." Elias clenched his fists. "We have to find out who." As the fleet closed in again, the crew prepared for another assault. But beneath the surface, deeper dangers waited, secrets that threatened to unravel everything they fought for. Elias stood beside the Guardian, their hands still joined. "Whatever comes next," he said, "we face it together." Her eyes met his, fierce and hopeful. "For humanity, for the stars." Cliffhanger. A mysterious betrayal from the past is revealed, threatening to undermine their fight. The Korvax. Fleet intensifies its attack. Can Elias and the Guardian unlock the full power of the throne before it's too late? The betrayer's shadow, the warning echoed in their minds. Betrayal from within. The message from the past burned like a spark, threatening to ignite chaos among the crew. Commander Elias Drake stood on the bridge, his gaze sharp, scanning every face. Trust had become their most fragile asset. The woman, the last Guardian, stood beside him, her presence a calm anchor amid rising turmoil. "The betrayal changed everything," she said quietly. "One of my own turned against the Guardians. Their greed for power unleashed the curse that bound me." Elias nodded. "We need to find this betrayer before the Korvax do." Maya Chen's fingers danced over the control panel. "I'm running diagnostics on the ship's logs. Anything unusual might point us to a traitor." As they delved deeper into the ship's history, strange anomalies surfaced. Deleted files, encrypted messages, and shifts in the ship's energy. Signatures that didn't match any known technology. Elias gathered the crew. "Someone here is hiding something. We must stay vigilant." The tension thickened. Whispers of suspicion grew, eyes darting, alliances fragile. The woman shared her story, a tale of brotherhood and treachery. "His name was Kalen," she said, voice heavy with regret. "Once a trusted guardian, he sought to claim the throne's power for himself. His betrayal shattered our unity and doomed my people." Elias felt the weight of her words, the sharp sting of history repeating. Suddenly the ship's systems flickered and a message appeared, coded, hidden within the ship's communications. Maya worked feverishly to decode it. "It's a distress signal. From within the ship, someone is trapped." Elias led a team through the dark corridors, the shadows alive with uncertainty. They found a crew member, injured and scared, who whispered a chilling revelation. "The Gatuardad Korvax. They're here because of the betrayer. He's alive. He's on this ship." Shock rippled through the crew. The betrayer was no myth. He walked among them, hidden. Elias's mind raced. "We must find him before he brings ruin." Meanwhile, Kalen moved through the ship, his face cold and determined. He sought the throne's power for himself, willing to betray anyone to claim it. His presence triggered the ship's ancient defenses, alarms blaring as traps activated. The woman confronted him in the throne room. "Kalen," she said, voice firm, "your greed will destroy us all," he sneered. "The throne's power is mine. I will end this. Curse my way." A fierce confrontation erupted, words sharp as blades, memories and betrayal colliding. Elias arrived just in time to witness the clash. The room trembled as ancient energy surged. Kalen reached for the orb, but the woman intervened, their powers clashing in a storm of light. Elias raised his weapon, torn between stopping Kalen and protecting the woman. The battle escalated, threatening to consume them all. Suddenly, Kalen unleashed a surge of energy, breaking free and vanishing into the ship's depths. Elias swore, "We have to stop him before he awakens the curse fully." As the crew regrouped, the Korvax fleet loomed closer, their attacks relentless. The woman revealed the throne's final secret. Its power could be sealed forever, but only through sacrifice. Elias looked to her, ready to face whatever came. Cliffhanger. Kalen's betrayal endangers everything. The throne's power is a double-edged sword. Can Elias and the Guardian stop the curse before it consumes them all? Breaking the cycle. The corridors of the ancient ship pulsed with restless energy, a final storm brewing in the heart of the throne. A room. Commander Elias Drake moved swiftly, flanked by the last Guardian and the remaining crew, ready for the confrontation that would decide the fate of the universe. Kalen's betrayal had set the stage for the ultimate reckoning. The traitor was no longer hiding in shadows. He wielded the throne's corrupting power, a dark and twisted reflection of the ancient curse. Elias's grip tightened on his weapon, but he knew this battle required more than force. It demanded sacrifice, courage, and a faith in something greater than themselves. The throne room's walls shimmered with energy as Kalen laughed, the orb of power twisting in his grasp. "This is destiny," he declared, voice booming. "I will be the master of fate itself." The woman stepped forward, eyes blazing with defiance. The throne's power was never meant for domination. It was meant to protect, to preserve balance. Kalen sneered. "Balance is weakness, power is everything." Elias raised his voice. "You don't have to do this. There's still a way to end the curse without destruction." Kalen paused, a flicker of doubt crossing his face, but pride and darkness held him tight. The chamber trembled as the orb reacted to their conflict, energy spiraling wildly. The Guardian placed her hand on Elias's shoulder. "We must bond with the throne one last time. Together we can break the cycle." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of generations in his veins. They stepped toward the orb, the energy wrapping around them like a living thing. Visions flooded Elias's mind, of wars, losses, hope, and resilience. He saw humanity's light shining brightest in the darkest moments, the courage to fight even when all seemed lost. Kalen screamed in rage, his control slipping as the orb's power sought balance. In a final, desperate act, Kalen lunged at Elias, but the Guardian intervened, their combined strength pushing him back. Elias reached out, touching Kalen's arm. "It's not too late to choose." For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Kalen's eyes softened, pain and regret surfacing. Then, with a whispered apology, he let go. The orb's energy enveloped him, and his form dissolved into light. The throne's power settled, calm and steady. The curse was broken, the woman's centuries-long burden lifted, her form becoming lighter, freer. She turned to Elias. "Thank you. Humanity's hope has saved us all." Outside the ship, the Korvax fleet retreated, sensing the shift in power. The crew looked to the stars with new hope. Elias spoke softly. "This isn't the end. It's a new beginning." Final lesson. The throne's curse was not just a burden, but a lesson. Power without compassion destroys, but hope and unity can break even the oldest chains. Humanity's greatest strength lies not in weapons or technology, but in the courage to choose light over darkness, to trust, to forgive, and to forge a future together. End of story.